Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So I wanted to today I would like to dedicate this show to Mileva Maric. She was a wife of Albert Einstein. She didn't get much credit for her work in physics as a physicist, as an intellectual, as a first woman, one of the first women to go to college. And not only that, she studied theoretical physics. There were only one other person in Zurich in the university studying theoretical physics, and that was Albert Einstein. But one of the things is that I recently there were discovered letters between her and Einstein. He was somebody that she's met in Zurich in the university. They were both young, and they connected on as soulmates, as intellectuals, as friends, as somebody that you could talk to, as a sounding board of ideas. They were very, very close. It was union of friends, it was union of intellectuals, it was union of theoretical physicists, two people that could understand each other, and it was love. Like, it was love in all the different angles. Like, it was real love. Like, they could understand each other on every level: physics, soul level, like every aspect of a human being. They really connected. They discovered letters that went through Einstein. It was a long marriage. I believe it was for 20 years. I mean, eventually she did give him a divorce, because he cheated on her a lot of times, but mainly he wanted to marry, I think, Elsa. He wasn't a very good dad to his kids, and that's another issue. Is it possible to be Albert Einstein and be a good human being and be a good father, be a good husband? I don't know. It's a debate. I talked to a couple of my friends. They're like, no, it's not possible. If he's thinking about like physics, and if he's thinking these crazy ideas, and he's focused on all these thought experiments that he had in his mind, it's not possible for him to also relate to humans and be a good father and be a good partner and be a good husband. But I think he was that to Mileva until they had kids. And after they had kids, obviously she was left to take care of the kids, where he finally started getting recognition as a scientist for the work that they've done together. When they were in Zurich in the university, in Polytechnic University, they've done a lot of work together, and he published all his papers in 1905. They didn't get recognition, but eventually he got his recognition, he got noticed, and he got his fame 10 years later, or 9 years later. And she was, she kind of gave up because she was with the kids. Obviously he didn't help much with kids. He was like, just doing his work, and she became a housewife, this brilliant woman, because she had to take care of 2 kids. And of course, after he got recognized and he got fame and he got this position in Berlin and he moved to Berlin, she became very jealous. She became very jealous of him, of his fame, of his recognition, of the fact that his friends are the smartest people in the world, that he can have those connections while she's, washing the dishes and doing laundry and sweeping the floor. And she also, she kept writing him letters. She's like, I wonder, what are they like, these people? These famous scientists that you and we looked up to. What are they like? I wish she was jealous of physics. She was jealous that she gave up physics. Give up. I mean, it's not like she gave up. She's like, I don't want to, but because she had to do so many other things, like take care of 2 kids, which, being a single mom, this is what I do after work, and I can, thank God I can make sometimes videos, but it's very hard. It's I was just making a video before, and my daughter screamed very loud through the whole video, so I had to re-record it. But I also work full-time, so I haven't played music, so it's kind of like, it's unfortunately, whenever there's a husband and wife and their kids, whenever the husband and wife divorce, or even if they stay together, for some reason, all the work plus the kids plus everything on the wife. Dishes, laundry, cleaning, kids, taking care of everything. And I feel like women don't get enough credit. Einstein never found somebody like Mileva. He had many lovers, and he was with Elsa, who's his cousin, but she wasn't, I don't know, she was perhaps a nice woman, but she was more like, she would cook for him, clean for him, take care of him. She's not someone that he could talk to about physics, or someone that he can, and in fact, scientists say that he never made anything more significant after he separated with Mileva. I think she was a huge force in his life. Now, I'm not saying like all of those ideas were hers, but I think she played a part as a partner, as somebody smart that he can talk to about it, as somebody who could point out perhaps weaknesses in the theory and say, hey, what about this? What about that? As someone, as a sounding board, as somebody that he could talk to about it. I think she played a huge part, because when you talk about something and talk to someone, it helps you to build the way you're gonna bring it to the public. It definitely helps to talk it out, and because the more you talk, the more clearer the ideas become in your mind. So I think she was huge, and I think she should deserve a credit. I don't know if Einstein would be the same Einstein without her. Like I said, I'm not claiming that like, oh, all ideas were hers. That's not true, but I think she participated, and I think she never got full credit. One of my friends said, well, she got credit because Einstein paid attention to her. Well, you know what? Maybe he's lucky that she paid attention to him, and maybe he wouldn't be Albert Einstein had she not dedicated her time, her love, her intellect to him, and love for physics. And after they divorced, before she didn't want to divorce him, but he gave her a contract that said, you must clean for me, you must cook for me, you must not talk to me, you must not sit at the same table with me. Now, the table used to be something where they would sit together every night and work on physics. So you must not expect intimacy from me, and I don't want to expect intimacy from you. You basically want a housewife. And he got a housewife in Elsa. He cheated on Mileva, he cheated on Elsa, he had a bunch of lovers, but I don't think he never had that kind of love that he had with Mileva ever again. I think she was his great love. I think Mileva, she didn't want to sign a contract, and I think after she returned to Zurich with her 2 kids, I think she resigned as a person, as a physicist. I think she gave up. She didn't go against the corruption and perhaps against the establishment that man is a genius and the wife stayed at home. And I believe if she was like, hey, yeah, he's my great love, I loved him, but wait a minute, why am I loving him now? Why am I so loyal now? Let me tell the world like that I contributed, and I want to teach physics, and I want to do something, and I believe if she pushed for that, I think she could have done something. And I think a lot of people think that she didn't contribute anything because after they separated, she hasn't done anything, And I think spiritually she did resign. I think one of her sons had schizophrenia. I think she resigned. She didn't date people. She was quiet. She was a loner. Not loner in the sense like she was always alone, but like she didn't really speak up. She wasn't somebody who would go out there and advocate for herself and say, wait a minute. And Albert called her, you're a jealous woman, depressed. Of course she was jealous, and of course she was depressed. Here's her life dream, physics. That's something that brings meaning to her life. She meets somebody that she feels, she gives her all to this person, and then she gives up. She gives up her dedication of physics for the kids, so the person Einstein, so he can pursue physics, so she will clean and cook and take care of his kids, and he just leaves her. And I feel like it's unfair that she didn't get credit. And I believe that Albert Einstein wouldn't be the same Albert Einstein had he not met her. I don't know how life would have played out. Would he have discovered these theories? Maybe it would have been different. Maybe they wouldn't have been as successful. And like I said, scientists point out that after the union of Mileva, this great union, after they separated, he hasn't discovered anything new and anything amazing. And in fact, he became stubborn, and he had a great distrust and great hate towards quantum physics because it was uncertain, and he felt like God does not play dice. And I love what Niels Bohr reply to him. He's like, don't tell God what to do. So I think Mileva deserves a credit. I feel this woman did give up spiritually. She gave up the fight. She gave up on her life, I think, in a way, and she kind of just resigned. And she loved him. I mean, people say that she still loved him. And I think, for us as women, it's important to love somebody and give it all. But once that person betrays you, it's important to say, wait a minute, and take your love back and take your power back and say, hey, I'm worthy. I can go out there and I can meet somebody else and I can offer to the world something. I think it's so important. So this video is dedicated to Mileva Maric. She's a great physicist and she deserves a credit in all Albert Einstein's achievements. Thanks.